has gone to every team in the NFL and has come up with 3 things they need to do in the offseason. Before we even show it, what do you think they're talking about for the Browns?
The Browns already accomplished number 1. They had to get rid of Kitchens and start over at head coach, so that's good. But as far as what do they need a tackle, 1, preferably 2 tackles. They need an impact lineman, I'm going to say, after Vernon's departure. And I'll also ask for an impact linebacker because I'm afraid they're going to lose Schobert.
Well, so apparently so is the people at the Bleacher Report. First of all, what they want to do is foster a new atmosphere, and there's only one way to do that, D-Man: win. So what comes first, the chicken or the egg on that?
It's a great point. You got to win first, because here's the thing: in that locker room, they can talk all they want, but it won't matter until they win.
Right.
So the wins have to come first.
All right. Bleacher Report suggests they re-signed Joe-Schobert.
Well, so do I, but I think Schobert's number is going to be too rich for the Browns' blood. Although that said, I think Schobert is an analytics darling. So
most probably.
I think if any front office is going to pay up for Schobert, it would be this one.
It would be hard to turn him down. If you're fostering analytics, it would be hard to say why you're getting rid of Schobert. Here's what he did in the 2019 season: 133 tackles, 2 sacks, 7 tackles for losses, 4 interceptions, a couple of fumbles forced, and 1 fumble recovery.
I mean, he's a solid to good NFL player who probably is going to want to get paid like a very good player, and that's where the Browns have a decision to make.
All right, the Browns have that decision, but so do a whole bunch of other teams who need a linebacker, but is that the guy they want to pay up for?
And you could also make the case he's the quarterback of the defense.
Right.
He's got the football IQ. I would say if anybody's worth overpaying, well, you say worth overpaying, that sounds like an oxymoron, but you're right. If anybody's worth the money, you would think it would be Schobert,
right.
But I'm wondering if this group is going to go down that road.
All right, they also suggest, this is Bleacher Report, suggests they fix the offensive line. I've seen so many fixes for the offensive line. You don't know if it's the draft, it's the veterans. I would think you'd want a veteran guy with the way it's been shaky for several years here. Last year, 2019 season, Greg Robinson, 11 penalties. That's startling. 4 sacks allowed. Chris-Hubbard, 8 penalties, 4 for Eric-Kush and Wyatt-Teller, a couple of penalties. And there you have it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's no secret tackles need work, need upgrades, and you feel good about Petonio, you feel good about Treader.
All right, I've been saying, let's just wait and see what these guys do. We don't know it. Other than Callahan, we really don't know the assistant coaches very well. Somebody said, what does the assistant coaching staff look like? When they mesh together, you have no idea how they're going to do.
That's correct. I mean, this is all new from really top down. I mean, Andrew Berry's a greenhorn at being a GM.
32.
DePodesta is doing, I guess, the same stuff he's doing, so he doesn't count. But Stefanski's never been a head coach. It's good to have a guy like Callahan in there who's at least been a head coach in the NFL. We'll see. Yeah. I mean, but to me, it's so much of it's about show me, don't tell me. And it's not just the coaches. It's the players. I mean, Myles-Garrett, again, I said, well, he needs to be, repentant, and he needs to say, I'm sorry, and all this. Honestly, he don't really need to do anything except sack the quarterback and be an impact player, because I really don't care what comes out of his mouth. I just said I did, but I really don't, because none of these players, to me, what they say matters. What matters is, are you going to win games? Are you going to listen to your coach, and are you going to win games?
How do you feel on Beckham now? At this point, doesn't he just have to show up for OTAs? He can say, I got this surgery that I had. I can't really do much, but I'm here for my team. Doesn't he almost have to do that?
I would think so. I mean, you would think so if he's all about the team. I was wrong. I didn't think that he would need the core surgery. Okay, but have you heard of a prognosis?
No.
Did anybody say how many weeks he was going to be sidelined?
I think I had heard 8 to 10.
Is it okay? I hadn't heard that. I hadn't read it, so that's news to me. But I hope he doesn't use that as an excuse for not having to do anything in the offseason until his timetable. And now, if he had major core surgery, I'm sorry, I apologize. Then he wouldn't be available until the doctors say he's allowed. But beyond that, it's not even whether he can work out for you in the offseason. It's more about should you bring him back. And I think it's a mistake to bring Landry and Beckham back together. I never want to look at wide receivers as a package deal. And Landry and Beckham made themselves a package deal by the way they talk toward the end of the year. I love playing with him. Right. He loves playing with me. Well, now all of a sudden you feel like, well, gee, if I cut Beckham, I'm going to tick off Landry. If I cut Landry, I'm going to tick off Beckham. So I need to keep them together. No, you don't. You can't have your organization or your offense specifically held hostage, if you were, by wide receivers.
And
pick one, and I would pick Landry.
And if one of them is more interested in his own numbers, that becomes a problem too, because his best friend is taking numbers away from him.
I mean, they'll say all the right things, but I believe, I don't know, it's just, again, my opinion is that Landry is more about the W's than Odell. I think Odell is all about his numbers and stuffing his stats and look at me, OBJ, and Landry is less that way, although I think some of OBJ rubbed off in a negative way on Landry toward the end of the year, and you saw Landry even get into Kitchen's face in, what was it, Arizona? Which you didn't see from Landry. You saw a competitor, but not a guy who was going to be like that.
216-5